Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Still not understanding.
Alright, so what's up YouTube? It's me, Drika K, and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you've been here before, welcome back, gang. Alright, I'm back with another story time, y'all. Lately, I've been doing a lot of videos to just kind of get things out, so that I can move on in my life and move past these things in my life and just let it go. And I'm also just being obedient by sharing my stories, hoping that they help somebody. So today, this story time is kind of like a story time that I really do not want to share, to be honest. And I just keep putting it off and keep putting it off because it's like I really don't want to talk about it. But I feel like I need to free myself from it. So here goes nothing. Holy Spirit, just lead me, guide me to have me to say what needs to be said in this video so I can move past this point in my life. Okay, so before I start this story, let me just say this. Like I said, I'm sharing this because I'm hoping that it can help who it helps, and I'm hoping that I can help someone not to make the wrong decision in their life, and to just protect yourself and to be safe, and just to know that like you can't trust everybody, and to like really value yourself and not let anger get the best of you, or bitterness or whatever get the best of you and have you to make bad choices. So yeah, that's I really just wanted to say that before getting started. Alright, so this is a story time, you guys. A very serious story time about me being sexually assaulted like 3 years ago. I've been blaming myself for why I got SA'd. I really feel like it's my fault. But over these past years, I've been trying to like tell myself that there was still no reason for that to have happened to me. But I've also learned a very valuable lesson, as if I didn't already know this lesson before. I got SA'd trying to play get back, or as y'all would say, get my lick back. In my mind, getting my lick back was only supposed to be like a couple of pictures posted on social media, Snapchat, to be specific, a couple of videos, just to like kind of like make somebody in my past jealous. I'm not gonna really say who the people are. I'm not gonna say the relationship and how recent, even though I did state that this happened 3 years ago. So you guys pretty much know if you've been following my life. But like I said, getting my lick back was only supposed to be like a couple of pictures posted and some videos, but things went far left, and I feel like it's my fault. So I was trying to get my lick back. My friends have been telling me like for like maybe a year, you know, like you'll feel better about yourself being that, you know, all that was done to you if you do something, you know, to like up the score. That's like what they was basically telling me. They was like, you'll feel better about yourself and you won't feel like this person has won over you. They was like, you need to find out, you know, who's his friend or whatever, and you just need to start talking to that person. And my friends was like, you know, just telling me to get my lick back, and I knew exactly what these particular friends were getting at. But I remember telling them like, I'm not that type of girl, and they know it. They knew it. I knew it, which was why I never wanted to get my lick back. because I never believed in using my body to get even. I would even tell these friends, like, when they would do it, like, it makes no sense. Like, how are you upping the score? Now you're just used. You gave yourself to somebody that does not even care about you, and the person that you're trying to get your lick back on still doesn't even care. But somehow I came to this bright idea, like, I can get my lick back, but it doesn't have to be the way that they think that it would be, or it would not be true for how the people would think that it really is. So I came up with this plan to hang out with this guy that I knew was associated with someone from my past that I was trying to get my lid back on. And I came in contact with this person. We text a little bit through Snapchat, and I truly felt like he was plotting on me as well, because it was too smooth. And he actually was the one that found me on Snapchat or whatever. And I remember him sliding up and, you know, saying that he knew who I was. And I was just like, yeah. And so that was that. And like I said, we text on Snapchat for a little bit, and it was nothing about, it was like a understood thing, because it's just like, even though it was like a case of getting my lick back, it wasn't like solely like that's all I wanted to do. Like, I'm getting my lick back. I'm getting my lick back. Like, it wasn't like, it was just like a casual thing. Now, I knew like it would upset this person, or, you know, it would kind of make this person feel some type of way. So it's like, I was talking to this person for that reason. You know, I'm human. If you're a girl, you understand where I'm coming from with this. But like I said, it was never in a sense of like wanting like to have like sexual relationship, because I knew that I'm not that type of girl, and I know how my feelings are. Like, I'm easy to feel disgusted about myself, is what I mean about feeling, especially when it comes down to like sex. Like, I have to know that we're together if I'm gonna, you know, take that step with someone. But okay, like I said, I felt like this guy was plotting on me already as well, because he found me on Snapchat. We was talking, we was texting through Snapchat for a couple of days, and he was like, you should come to my city and let me take you out. So I agreed. I was like, okay, cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. So the weekend came, and I went to this guy's city, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Like, I had a lot of fun. We did everything that he said that we would do. He took me out to eat. We tried to go bowling, but when we got there, there were a lot of people there. So we didn't go in. And we rode around all that night, and we just had fun, and we just talked. We vibed. I felt like I was with a homeboy. Like, I started to get comfortable with him, which is where I was wrong at, because I realized I do have a problem with that. Like, I trust people too quick. The old me used to trust people too quick, you know, not even knowing what their motives were, you know, because everybody has a motive when it comes down to, you know, certain situations. And especially, these are people that they have not even known me for years, so of course they would not hesitate to do me in any kind of way. So like I said, our first link was fun. It was nice. It was relaxing. It was very chill. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. No red flags or anything like that. So the second link is when things kind of started to heat up. I remember, like, when I went to his city, he took me out to eat again, and then we just rode around, like, while he caught a few plays. We rode around, and he got liquor, and we started to drink. So I was still enjoying myself. Still wasn't no red flags or anything like that. So we started having a conversation about about the other person, you know, and how I knew them and how they knew them and how they were no longer friends anymore. And so I'm just like, oh, is that so? And he was like, yes. And so we started to talk and we started to have a conversation, and that's when the conversation came up. Like, I was like, well, no, actually he was like, I want to put you on my Snapchat so bad, but I don't know. And so in the back of my mind, I'm getting all excited. I'm just like, yeah, because I mean, this will really just, you know, this is all I really wanted. Like, you know, I'm thinking like we can do this and stuff like that. And then in my mind, I was gonna let him put me on his Snapchat, and then, you know, that'll just be it. That's done, like, for our link, because that was really all that I wanted or whatever. And so he was like, but I don't know how you would feel about it. So I was like, I was thinking about it. At that point, y'all, I'm backing out of it because I'm a lover girl to the core. At this point, I started thinking about the other person and how they would feel seeing me on this person's Snapchat. And I immediately, like, my stomach starts turning and I back out of it because I'm just like, I still have strong feelings for this other person. And it's like, if I do this, it's no going back. It's no coming back. You know, that type of thing. So I was completely aware of that. So he was like, but I don't know how you feel. He repeated himself again. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, let's just kind of wait. So he was like, okay. And so we continued on the night. Nothing, you know, things didn't really get weird, and we kept drinking, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm the type, I can hold my liquor pretty well, like really good. And so I noticed, like, throughout the night, I guess he started thinking, like, you know, I wasn't really, like, you know, aware of myself, because I really started to, like, let loose. I started being, like, myself, like, showing my personality. I got, like, really comfortable, you know, with him or whatever, just, you know, cracking jokes and stuff like that. And so he started getting, like, really handsy and, like, touchy, trying to touch my face while we were parked outside of like this area where you just see a lot of stuff and a lot of people. And keep in mind, it's like dark or whatever. It's around about 7, so it's dark. But he kept getting, like, really handsy and, you know, trying to touch my face and make me kiss him. And I remember telling him, like, no, like, I don't want to kiss you. It's not like that or whatever. And to my knowledge, he didn't take much offense to it. You know, he didn't seem like he was upset, but he also did not stop. Like, I noticed, like, he just kept, you know, being really handsy. And at this point, I'm starting to get a little, you know, worried. So I'm just like, you know, I'm getting a little sleepy. Take me back to my car. I'm about to go home. So he was like, okay. So I noticed we sat there a little bit and it just got really quiet. And I was like, can you take me back to my car? I'm ready to go home. And so he cranked up the car and he took me back to my car, and he didn't really seem upset, to be honest, not for real. He was very quiet, but he was still really nice, because I remember him asking me, like, you know, are you too cold, or, you know, or something like that. So I felt like he wasn't upset or whatever. And once I got back to my car, I got out or whatever, and I told him I would see him around, which really meant that, you know, I really wasn't going to see him anymore. Like, I felt like that was it. Like, I couldn't do it. Like, I was afraid, like, my heart wouldn't let me do it, because I'm not that type of girl. Like, I can't even let him put me on his Snapchat. Like, something as simple as that, because for some reason, I just had a lot of respect for this person, and I still do. So, once I got out of the car, he was like, well, I hope this isn't the last of me seeing you. And I was like, of course not. I was like, the vibes is always good when I'm with you. I was like, you started tripping towards the end, but I was like, hopefully we won't have a problem out of that no more, right? And so he was like, right, I'm sorry, I apologize. And so I accepted his apology, and I got in my car and I went home. I received a text message from this guy, and he was basically telling me how he liked my vibe, and that he didn't know that I was this cool, and that he could not believe that the other guy, you know, let me go. Just basically real cliche and buttering me up. And I knew it was like, I knew he was laying the butter on real thick, because I remember, like, looking at the message the whole time, like, boy, stop. I know what's going on. So, yeah, like I said, I received the message from him or whatever, and we continued to talk and stuff like that. And then he brought up, you know, putting me on his Snapchat again, and he was like why wouldn't I let him do it? And I just was like, I don't know. And then he sent me, he was like, you still love him, don't you? And I was like, yeah, ... And he sent back, he was like, I totally understand it, because he was like, I can tell that you are a good girl. And I just basically was like, thank you, I appreciate it. And so he was like, I want to take you out again, not the weekend that's coming up, because he had something to do. He was like, the week after that, he was like, are you down for it? And so I was like, yeah. And then he was like, this time we can go to maybe like the next city over to maybe like go rollerblading or something like that. So I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I'm not going to turn down a free meal, because he was paying for everything. It was like a free meal, free liquor, free smoke, just, you know, a good time. And I felt safe around him. So the third link is when everything went left, y'all. We did everything that we said that we was going to do, but we waited too late to go to the next city over, because I just was like, I didn't want to get too far away from my car. So I just was glad to use that as an excuse, you know, because I just, you know, at that point I had already spent a lot of time with him. We had gone out to eat, we had rode around, we had drinks and stuff like that. And so I'm just like, yeah, I just really don't want to go to the next city over and leave my car here, you know, being that I'm not from this city. So he understood that. And so we rode around some more, and that's when it happened, y'all. I really don't want to go into detail for real, because I really can't remember verbatim, because like I said, I was smoking and I was drinking, and it's like on that third link, it's like everything just really hit like at one time. But what I will say is, like, he took advantage of me. And I remember like my boundaries just being crossed. I remember being touched again, and I remember repeatedly saying, no, don't touch me. I remember him locking the car doors. I could never forget that, because I got scared immediately. I remember being like somewhere unfamiliar, not really knowing where I'm at, a whole bunch of trees. So if I were to get out, where would I go? It's super dark outside, and I'm just like, what do I do? And like I said, the car doors were locked, and at this point I'm really nervous. I'm not really, you know, I'm scared at this point. And I just know that one thing led to another. And I remember the reason why I felt like this being sexually assaulted was my fault was because I did not stop him. Because I expected him to read my body language. Like, everything about me screamed, no, I don't want this. I was very tense. When he was trying to like get on top of me, I was telling him like, no, I don't want to do this. Keep in mind, I'm drinking, I'm drunk, really, I'm high. And I just remember like being really scared to say, you know, like no too many more times, even though I do remember saying, no, I don't want to do this at least once. But I also remember like his arms, well, he had his hands wrapped around my wrist, and like he was kissing on me and stuff like that. And I was telling him like, no, I don't want to do this. And one thing led to another. I'm so glad that it did not go on for a long time. If I can be a little vulgar, I would honestly say he may have had like 2 thrusts on me before I just like kind of just was like, I think the fact that I started crying out loud is what just kind of like told him like enough is enough. Or maybe at that point he began to like really read my body language, because again I was very tense. I had already said no at least once. I was very uncomfortable. I was very dry, and I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, but I'm being honest. And I can just remember being there in that chair and just thinking like, immediately being disgusted with myself, feeling really ugly. Like I went through a lot of emotions, and I just remember thinking to myself like, this is your fault. This is your fault. This is your fault. And I told him to take me home. Now at this point, I could tell that he was upset. He was driving really fast, and when he put me out, he didn't even say goodbye or anything like that. So I drove home crying. And I remember the next morning I texted him and I told him, I don't text my phone ever again. I told him to delete me off of his Snapchat, even though those were all things that, you know, I had already like, after I sent him that, I just wanted him to know that I just wanted him to know that he was in the wrong. So I told him everything. I was like, delete me off your Snapchat. Don't text me ever again. Lose my number. Like all that type of stuff. And so once I sent the message, I was sure to delete him off my Snap, block him, block his number, all of that good stuff. Because I was really just, you know, I was disgusted in myself. You know, I was not in no kind of way attracted to him. Not saying that if I was attracted to him that it would have made it better, but it's just, I was feeling so much at that time, and I was just feeling disgusted because it was never supposed to go that far in no type of form or fashion. It was never supposed to go that far. Like, that's not what I was there for. I honestly only wanted to do a couple of videos and pictures and post me on his Snap and, you know, give people something to talk about. But instead, I got sexually assaulted. And I remember I had to talk to my therapist. I talked to my therapist about this because I didn't know who else to talk to about this. I remember the only person that I talked to about this was my cousin Juicy. And even she was like, well, that's sexual assault. She was like, regardless of whether you said no or not, she was like, you didn't want it. And I was like, I didn't, like, at all. Like, I put this on my daughter. I remember looking at my cousin square in the face and saying, I put this on Carly, like, this is not what I wanted. This was not what I wanted to do. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. And so I talked to my therapist because I needed a second opinion. And even my therapist told me, she was like, sweetie, she was like, you were sexually assaulted twice and you didn't even know it. And I told her, I said, well, I was like, he only entered me that one night. And then she was like, the other link when he was touching you, she was like, that was also sexual assault. And I just remember being mind blown. I remember being mind blown about the whole entire situation. I experienced like so much from this situation, and being that I've never told anyone. Like, my parents don't know, my sister doesn't know. The only person that knows is my therapist and my cousin Juicy. Those were the only two people I felt comfortable, you know, telling it to. And at that point, it was I don't really think it was too late to get the police involved, but it's just like, I don't know. I didn't get the police involved because I felt like I was in the wrong as well. I went barking up a tree, and I felt like I got what I deserved. And one day I was at the gym, and this guy that I used to work out with, I felt, and this is another thing, you never truly know somebody until you have like a full in-depth conversation with them. This is when you find out, you know, the true issues of someone's heart. I always consider this guy a really nice guy, this guy that I used to work out with. So I told him about the situation, and he basically was like, yeah, it was my fault. He was like, if he basically told me if I got aroused by it, that, you know, I wanted it. But the thing is about that, I didn't get aroused. Like I had told y'all, I was dry. And I'm sorry, y'all. Like I'm getting the ick just talking about this. But I remember after that day, I stopped being friends with that guy at the gym, because he basically told me that I deserved what happened to me. And so at that point, it's like everything that my cousin and my therapist had told me, it went out the window. And so I went into a depression. I was disgusted with myself. I felt like I deserved it. I didn't want the other person to know about it, because like I said, I still had a lot of love for him, and it's just like, you know, if he heard something like that, then he would for sure be through with me, regardless of whether it was supposed to go down like that or not. He wouldn't understand. All he would know is just that this guy, he entered me, like, you know, not even looking at it in the point of, you know, me being SA'd. Which, after having a conversation with this person, because I did eventually end up telling them, because I have so much respect for this person. They did understand, but this person also did not hesitate to put me down. He did not hesitate to put me down when he could. I don't think that this person is upset with me about this, but however, I just feel like I don't know what to feel. But yeah, back to the story. I went into a depression. I started to hate my body, and of course, after it all went down, I went to the doctors, you know, to get myself checked out to make sure that I did not, you know, contract anything or nothing like that. And I remember for like a couple of months, I kept going back to the health department, just trying to make sure that I was clear. I did not get anything. Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. But I still felt really bad, because honestly, I just told the person about this year. So I went all this time holding it in. It took me a little minute to get over it too, you guys. Like, I felt bad about myself. And the reason why I wanted to tell this story, because I just want people to know, like, don't be too quick to trust any and everybody. And even though I never thought of getting your lick back in the sense of, you know, having sexual relations, I just really wanted to do pictures and a couple of videos on Snapchat and boom. But this is for anyone that's out there that's using their bodies as get back on someone. Don't do it, because they don't care. It does not make you look good. It may dampen their feelings a little bit, but you also have to know, like, what type of person you're dealing with, because some people, they just don't care. So then it's like you gave yourself away for no reason. And even if that person does love you so much to the point of them crashing out, now you just have this weirdo that's not going to leave you alone, and you've gained a body for no reason. So, can we just get rid of get back culture? It's stupid. And get back culture did not work for me. It got me harmed. My dang camera overheated. But yeah, get back culture didn't do anything for me. It actually got me harmed, and it came with a lot of trauma. Although I have learned a very valuable lesson from trying to get my lick back. I will never do it again. And I pray that if there's anyone that's watching this video, you shouldn't be playing a dangerous game like that either, because you just don't, you just never know. And if you must play a game like that, even though I hope that you won't, I hope that you will take heed to this video and learn something from it and value yourself. That's the biggest lesson. Don't be playing games like that, because anyone that values their self is not going to be out here playing like that with their body. Because you want to make somebody jealous, you're going to go have sex with somebody else. That sounds ludicrous. Even in that moment, like I said, I'm not even that type of girl. That was never the case for me. I never was like, oh, I'm finna go sleep with this guy to make my other person upset. I wasn't thinking like that. And at a certain extent, I'm very naive. I'm very green, I'll admit. I'm very green, but I'm working on it. I'm going to say I used to be green. I'm not green no more. Like, I don't trust nobody no more. I don't trust nobody. And I will say that that's my fault. I have made decisions and it has made me, not really trust people in a way. But I've learned, like I said, I've learned a very valuable lesson from that. And I pray that whoever comes across this video, that you take heed and that you're not out here playing like that, with your body. And if you are to do anything like that, please let it be protected. Unfortunately for me, it was unprotected because I was sexually assaulted. And I thank the Lord that I was okay. I went to go get tested and everything. Everything was negative. I did not catch anything. Thank you, Lord, for being on my side. But I added more trauma onto the list by, as if I'm not already going through enough grief as is. And now I have trauma from being sexually assaulted. It took a lot for me to come to a place of like peace with that. And to know that even though I tried to play with fire and I got burned, but not in a literal sense. Like I just told y'all, all of my testing was negative. I didn't get burned like that. Okay, let's be very clear. I am disease free. But I tried to play with fire and I got burned. I got sexually assaulted. I got hurt. I got trauma added onto my life. It made me hate myself. I became disgusted with my body. I felt like I deserved it, and I also felt like my other person no longer would want to talk to me anymore, and stuff like that. It was just a lot. Time has gone past and I'm working on healing from that and moving forward. I'm working on controlling, not even so much of my anger, but I'm just working on a lot because, like I say, to this day, and I'm the hardest on myself. I know that y'all probably have realized this, but I felt like I deserved it, y'all, because like, even though I wasn't meaning it in that way, but like I said, I tried to jump off the porch into a world of something that I didn't know nothing about. And it caused me to get sexually assaulted. Did I deserve that? Like, if we really just being real and if we're out of my mind, absolutely not. No girl deserves to be sexually assaulted. If someone is touching you in an area and you don't want to be touched, that is sexual assault. Even if you don't say no, that is sexual assault. Is sexual assault, because I know sometimes we feel like some things may not be sexual assault. I didn't really get like police or anything involved because I didn't really know it was sexual assault until my cousin told me, and my therapist also told me. So like I said, even if you don't say no, it's still sexual assault because you didn't consent to, being touched or the sexual relations. So I would advise any and everyone, and not just females, but males as well. Y'all have rights as well too. I would suggest that everybody go read up on sexual assault, get yourself familiar with it, so that way if you're ever faced with it, you will know exactly what it is and that you will get help and you will get the law involved and that this person will be charged, or whatever. This is the end of this video. I'm really glad that I went on and I talked about this because it's crazy, but I already feel much more lighter now that I, I've talked about this, and this is the end of my video.